I'm gonna appoint the Office of the Public Defender in this case. It's 2021 CF 14900. But he wants the phone? Didn't he want the phone? We're gonna, he needs the interpreter, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct. Does our witness need an interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor. She also needs an interpreter.
Thank you. Is the interpreter on the line?
Yes, Your Honor, the interpreter is on the line.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can everyone hear him okay? Okay. We're here in case 2021 CF 14900.
Estamos aquí en el caso 21 CF 14900.
The defendant in this case is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Señor, se le acusa de agresión física calificada con un arma mortífera.
We've appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent him.
Se le ha designado a la oficina del defensor público para que lo represente.
I have reviewed the affidavit. I do find probable cause.
He leído el affidavit y determino que existen indicios de criminalidad.
We do have a witness here.
Your Honor, does the witness need the Spanish interpreter as well?
I believe so.
Okay.
Please raise your right hand.
Levante la mano derecha, por favor.
I don't think she knows you're talking to her.
No,
Señora, levante la mano derecha, por favor. La
no me
testigo.
ven cuál es la derecha. Esta.
Mano
Right
derecha,
hand.
la derecha, la derecha.
Esta.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Juro promete que el testimonio que rendirá será la verdad, solo la verdad y nada más que la verdad.
Sí.
Please
Yes.
state your name for the record.
Diga su nombre, por favor, para que conste en acta.
Gladys Yamilet Humana Prudencio.
Gladys Yambilez Humana Prudencio.
Sí.
All right, ma'am, is there anything you want to tell the court?
Señora, ¿hay algo que usted quiera decirle al juzgado?
Sí, yo quiero decir que yo quiero que lo saquen a él porque él es celoso y llegó muy alterado, yo lo sé, pero yo no necesito.
Dame un segundo. Yes, I wanted to request that he be let out. I know he's jealous, and when he arrived, he was a little upset. I know that.
She can continue.
Pues, señora.
You can tell her to continue.
Continúe, señora.
Lo necesito porque es el padre de mis hijos. Sé que tenemos que tomar terapia los dos. Él por sus celos que tiene y yo porque tengo que comprenderlo. Y mis hijos también lo necesitan. Tengo un niño de 2 meses y uno de 3. Y él
Espere,
necesita...
Señora, deme tiempo a interpretar, por
Okay.
favor. I need him back because he's the father of my children. I know that we both need to go to therapy. Him because of his jealousy, me because I need to understand him, but we have children together. I have a 2-month-old baby, and both myself and my children need him back.
Okay, thank you. Does either party have questions for this witness?
The defense does, Your Honor.
La defensa no tiene preguntas para la testigo.
Okay, you may ask your questions.
Ma'am,
Adelante con las preguntas.
who provides income for your children?
Señora, ¿quién es el que provee los ingresos para sus hijos?
Es él.
He does.
Okay. And what does he do for work?
¿Y a qué se dedica él?
Él es rufero, él trabaja en el techo.
He's a roofer. He works with roofs.
Does he work full-time?
Él trabaja jornada completa.
Sí, todos los
completo.
días.
Yes, every day.
Ma'am, are you in fear of the defendant?
Señora, ¿siente usted temor del acusado?
No, no.
No.
If he were released from the jail today, would you be comfortable with him returning home with you?
Y si él saliera de la cárcel hoy, ¿usted estaría cómoda con que él regrese a la casa con usted?
Sí, siempre y cuando él tome terapia de sus celos que tiene.
Yes, as long as he goes to therapy because of that jealousy of his.
Understood. Will you be
Entendido.
paying his bond today if someone needs to pay that?
¿Usted será la persona que depositará la fianza de él si fuese necesario?
Sí.
Yes.
How much could you afford for that bond?
¿Cuánto puede permitirse pagar usted para esa fianza?
Es que es primera vez que andamos en esto, no sé cómo es eso.
Oh, well, this is the first time we've ever been involved in any of this. I don't know how this works.
How much money do you have to pay for bond if there's a money
¿Cuánto?
bond imposed?
¿Cuánto dinero tiene usted para poder pagar hacia la fianza si se emite una?
$1,000.
$1,000.
Thank you, ma'am.
Gracias, señora.
Okay, State, do you have any other questions you want to ask?
Fiscalía, ¿tiene usted alguna pregunta que desea hacer?
Ma'am, how many children do you have?
Señora, ¿cuántos hijos tienen ustedes?
Yo tengo 5, 2 de él y 3 míos.
And,
I have 5. 2 are his, 3 are mine.
and do they all live with you in the same house under the same roof?
¿Y todos viven con ustedes en la misma casa bajo el mismo techo?
Has he ever been physically aggressive with any of the children?
¿Alguna vez él ha sido físicamente agresivo con alguno de los niños?
Nunca.
Or
Never.
ever committed an act of violence against you in front of the children?
¿Alguna vez ha cometido un acto de violencia en contra suya en frente de los niños?
No.
No.
Do you fear for their safety, their physical safety, if he bonds out of jail?
And I would object to this line of questioning. It's not relevant to the case. She's clearly
Señoría,
indicated that he hasn't threatened the children.
Voy a objetar con respecto a esta línea de preguntas, no es pertinente al caso. Su señoría, ella ha indicado claramente que siente que se preocupa por la seguridad de los niños.
I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm not-
You understand the reasoning.
We'll sustain it for the
No
record.
tengo
I'm
más
not sure-
preguntas.
I'm not sure it matters at this point. I'm ready to make a ruling.
No creo que importe en este momento. Estoy listo para tomar una decisión.
Okay.
All right, what we're gonna do is if I didn't say it already, we're finding probable cause as to the aggravated assault and battery charges that were in front of us.
Bien, determino que existe indicios de criminalidad para los cargos de agresión física y el de agresión en violencia doméstica y el de agresión física con arma mortífera.
We're gonna set his bond as to the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon at $3,000.
Voy a fijar la fianza ante el cargo de agresión física calificada con arma mortífera en $3,000
And we're gonna set his bond as the battery at $500.
y la agresión física en $500.
He is to have no contact with the victim in this case and maintain a separate residence.
Se le prohíbe el contacto con la víctima en este caso y debe buscarse un paradero por separado.
He may return one time with law enforcement to gather any belongings he needs.
Se le permite regresar una sola vez junto a las autoridades para recoger sus pertenencias.
He is to possess no weapons or firearms,
Se le prohíbe la tenencia de un tipo de arma ni arma de fuego.
and he's not to possess any drugs or alcohol.
Y se le prohíbe la tenencia o consumo de ningún tipo de droga ni de alcohol.
All right, best of luck to you, sir.
Gracias, buena suerte, señor.
Gracias.
Thank you.
All right. I don't suppose we have anybody else out there that needs a Spanish interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, I have 3 more.
They're all in order? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Interpreter, you hear that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, can you please state your name?
Diga su nombre, señor.
Julero García Flavio.
Julero García Flavio.
Okay. You're here for the charge of possession of cocaine.
Bien, señor, se encuentra acá ante el cargo de tenencia de cocaína,
driving under the influence with property damage or personal injury,
por conducir bajo los efectos causando daños a propiedad ajena o daños corporales,
and refusal to submit to a DUI test.
y rehusarse a someterse a una prueba de alcoholemia.
I've reviewed the reports in each case. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender.
He leído el informe en cada uno de los casos, se le designará a la oficina del defensor público.
I'm going to find probable cause as to each count.
Se determina que existen indicios de criminalidad ante cada uno de los cargos.
I'm going to stay the bonds as to each count. Well, let me take that back. Sorry. As to the possession of cocaine, I'm going to set your bond at $1,000.
Se fijará la fianza en $1,000 ante el cargo de tenencia de cocaína.
And then I'm going to stay the bonds as to the 2 DUI counts at $1,000 each.
Y se mantendrá la fianza ante los dos cargos de conducir bajo los efectos en $1,000 cada una.
Your Honor, it appears that Mr. Roblero Garcia does qualify for PTR in this case.
Su señoría, parece que el señor Roblero García reúne los requisitos para la libertad provisional en este caso.
We'd ask for a release on $0 bond.
Quisiéramos pedir que se emita la misma sin fianza.
State want to be heard?
Fiscalía.
We would agree, or if the court thinks it's appropriate, a reduction of bond with PTR, but he would have to be on some kind of bond. He's got possession of cocaine, a couple of DUIs, obviously, that he is a potential danger to.
Estamos de acuerdo, su señoría, se puede reducir la fianza, pero hay que emitir alguna, ya que es un cargo por tenencia de cocaína y por conducir bajo los efectos, obviamente él es un peligro para la comunidad.
So just to be clear, you're asking for PTR and some sort
Well,
of.
we would not object if the court thinks it's appropriate in this circumstance.
No estamos objetando
The total bond, I understand it is $3,000, correct?
La fianza total es de $3,000, ¿correcto?
Yes, right now, that's what it is.
Sí, en ese momento esa es la cantidad.
Judge, if we could briefly respond to the state's point, I think there can be sufficient supervision and regulation of Mr. Roblero Garcia while he's out on PTR. Seems like that's the point of the pretrial release services. They do stay in touch with these individuals when they're out.
Su señoría, para objetar a lo que ha emitido la Fiscalía, creo que habría suficiente supervisión para el señor Robledo en estos casos. Para eso está la libertad provisional, para que haya algún tipo de supervisión y vigilancia durante estos momentos.
And I believe any violation of PTR would be the same for bond and vice versa, so it should be effectuating the same purpose here.
Y creo que cualquier incumplimiento de la libertad provisional sería la misma que incumplimiento bajo fianza. Las consecuencias serían las mismas.
All right, we're going to put him on PTR as to the cocaine possession and Firearm as to that count.
Bien, se emitirá la libertad provisional bajo el cargo de cocaína y libertad bajo palabra en ese cargo.
We're going to set his bonds on the 2 DUI charges at $500 each and put him on PTR as to those counts as well. He is to.
Ante los cargos de conducir bajo los efectos, $500 de fianza cada uno y se emitirá la libertad provisional ante esos cargos también.
I'm also going to order that he's subject to random drug and, I guess, alcohol testing if available.
Y también deberá someterse a análisis de droga y de orina al azar si fuese necesario.
Can you repeat that? Is bond and PTR?
So the bonds are going to be, he's still going to have a bond onto the 2 TUI counts.
Él todavía se emitirá una fianza ante los dos cargos de conducir bajo los efectos.
They're going to be $500 each, but he's also going to be on pretrial release.
Serán $500 de fianza para cada uno de los cargos y también se le concederá la libertad provisional.
And then he's ROR, he's not going to have a bond amount on the possession of cocaine charge.
Y libertad bajo palabra sin fianza para el cargo de la tenencia de cocaína, pero se emitirá la libertad provisional.
Okay, well, if it makes it easier, he needs to be on pretrial release on all of them, or he needs to have bond on all of them, or can he do pretrial release on one and have a bond on the other?
O si lo hace más fácil, puede emitirse libertad provisional en todos o solamente en uno, necesita fianza en todos o cómo se puede hacer.
It can be bond and PTR.
Puede ser fianza y libertad
Saying
provisional.
for the separate case of cocaine, you just want straight PTR? Okay.
Excepto para el caso de cocaína, libertad provisional directa.
Any conditions for the possession of cocaine
Yes, he needs to be subject to random drug testing.
on both cases?
Y tiene que someterse a análisis de orina en ambos cargos.
No drugs or alcohol.
Okay.
0 drogas, 0 alcohol.
Okay. We good?
Bien.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Gracias, señor. Buena suerte.
All right, good morning, sir. Can you please state your name for us?
Buenos días, señor. Diga su nombre.
Marfil Vázquez Franco.
Marfil Vázquez Franco.
All right, you're here on case 2021 CF 14903
Se encuentra acá en el caso 21 CF 14903
and 2021 CF 14904
y el 21 CF 14904
on the charges of aggravated assault with a firearm and grand theft of a firearm.
con cargos de intimidación calificada con arma de fuego y agresión calificada con arma de fuego.
I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Se le designará a la Oficina del Defensor Público para que lo represente.
I've reviewed the affidavit.
He leído el affidavit.
I'm going to find probable cause.
Determino que existe indicio de criminalidad.
I'm going to I understand you qualify for PTR, but we're not going to do PTR on this case.
Y usted reúne los requisitos para la libertad provisional, pero no se emitirá libertad provisional en este caso.
As to aggravated assault, your bond will be $5,000.
Con la intimidación calificada será $5,000 de fianza.
As to the grand theft charge, your bond is going to be $1,000.
Y ante el cargo de hurto mayor cuantía, $1,000 de fianza.
You are to have no possession of any weapons or firearms.
Se le prohíbe la tenencia de ningún tipo de arma o arma de fuego.
You are to have no contact with the co-defendant in this case or the victim.
Se le prohíbe el contacto con el coacusado ni con la víctima en este caso.
Anything else from either party?
No, Your Honor.
¿Algo más, alguna de las partes? No, su señoría.
Anything from the public defender?
¿Algo más de parte del defensor público?
Okay. Good luck to you, sir.
Bien, buena suerte, señor.
All right, good morning, sir. Can you please state your name?
Buenos días, señor. Dígame su nombre. Acérquese al micrófono, señor, que no le escucho.
Nelson Guzmán Rodríguez.
Nason Guzmán Rodríguez.
Okay, you were picked up on a driving while license suspended case.
Usted fue arrestado por un cargo mientras se encontraba conduciendo en un caso de conducir con la licencia suspendida.
It appears you were also out on bond on 2021 CT 1736 AW.
Y también estaba en libertad o fianza en el caso 21 CT 1733 AW.
I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Se le designará a la oficina del defensor público para que lo represente.
I'm going to find probable cause exists for the driving while license suspended.
Determino que existe indicio de criminalidad para el cargo de conducir con la licencia suspendida.
I'm going to set your bond as to this case, which is 2021 CT 7648.
Se fijará la fianza en este caso, el 21 CT 7648,
of $500.
en $500.
I'm going to double your bond on the case you were out on bond at to $1,000.
Y se duplicará la fianza en el caso que se encuentre en libertad bajo fianza en $1,000.
Okay. And that's 21 CT 1736 AW.
Y ese es el 21 CT 1736.
All right, anything else from either party?
No, Your Honor.
¿Algo más? ¿Alguna de las partes? No, su señoría.
All right, best of luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
I didn't revoke it. I doubled his bond.
That should be all with the Spanish interpreters.
All right, that should be it for the Spanish interpreter.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. If any case shows up later on, just dial the same number. I'll be ready. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, good morning, sir. Can you please state your name?
Big Darrell, Keith.
All right, good morning, Mr. Keith. I'm gonna order the Office of the Public Defender to represent you in this case. You're here for a failure to appear.
Will I go home today?
In 2021 MM 330AW. You're also here on new charges of possession of drug paraphernalia and trespass in a structure and a conveyance, or maybe those are from, I take that back. I'm having a hard time reading this.
So,
Well, you're here for a failure to appear. There was a KPS issued for your arrest for trespassing in a structure or other conveyance. I guess you're also here for a trespass and a possession of a drug paraphernalia, although I do not see the possession of a drug paraphernalia anywhere. Yep, I don't see,
He
see
was
how this is just
IA.
trespass? And this says drug paraphernalia?
He was IA on those two cases yesterday. He's just here today for the F.
Just for the failure to appear?
failure to appear.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, your bond's already been set at 0 in that case. It's a KPS, so the court's unable to modify that at the hearing today. Best of luck to you, sir. Anything else from either party?
Leon.
All right, good morning, sir. Can you please tell us your name?
Carlton Foster.
Mr. Foster, you're here on charges of indecent exposure. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to appoint you. I've reviewed the affidavit. I'm going to find probable cause exists for the charge. I'm going to stay the bond at $500. I'm going to order you not to return to the scene outlined in the police affidavit. You are to have no drugs or alcohol in your possession, and you are to have no contact with the victim as outlined in the police affidavit. Does either party have any other issues they want to address?
Your Honor, it doesn't appear that he was vetted for PTR. We had asked for an ROR on this case. Appears that he doesn't have a residence.
No, we're going to keep bond at $500. All right, good luck to you, sir.
The attorney soon. Morning.
All right, good morning, sir. Can you say your name for us, please?
Isaac Maldonado Cabret.
All right, good morning.
Good
I'm going to
morning.
appoint the Office of the Public Defender to arrest you. You're here in 2021 MM 8163 for trespass on property after a warning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It appears you are also out on your own recognizance for a possession of cocaine charge in 2021 CF 12779. Does either, if I haven't appointed the public defender, I'll do this so now. Does either party wish to be heard on this case?
Yes, Your Honor, we'd ask for an ROR on this case, given the fact that he's out on bond on a possession of cocaine. He was released ROR. This is a mere trespass case. We'd ask for and to be released on this as well.
State.
They would object if he's been out and commits a new crime, then the court should even consider revoking his previous bond.
Well, as the possession of cocaine case 2021 CF 12779 will set his bond at $100. As to this case, we will also set his bond as to $100. Going to order you not to return to the scene in the police affidavit. Okay, sir?
Will I be going?
Sir, don't return to the scene if you bond out. Don't return to the scene in the police affidavit, okay? All right, good luck. All right, good morning, sir. Can you come up, please step forward and say your name?
My name is Joshua Coons.
All right, Mr. Coons, I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. You're here on an aggravated assault with a firearm charge in 2021 CF 14932A. You were also out on bond for carrying concealed firearm in 2021 CF 4598A0. Does either party want to be heard before the court? There's another one? Oh, okay.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record and spell your last name.
Valeria Chavez.
Can you say your name one more time? I couldn't hear you.
Valeria Chavez.
All right, Ms. Chavez, what would you like to tell the court this morning?
So I am asking for him to be released. I will be dropping charges due to requests for his mother, as long as he's able to go to therapy. In the meantime, if he is able to be released or out on bond, he will be staying with his mother. We do have 3 kids that I will be dropping off on and off for him to be able to see. Currently don't really want contact for the first few days that he is out until I know that he's getting help for himself.
Say that last part again. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
I currently do not really want any contact with him for just like the first maybe couple weeks until I see that he is able to get help for himself.
Okay. Does either party have any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Ma'am, if Mr. Coons was released from the jail, would you be in fear for your safety if there was a no hostile contact order in place?
No. No, sorry.
You would not feel safe? So you wouldn't feel safe if he was able to leave the jail?
So if he leaves, no, I would be safe. I wouldn't feel threatened or anything.
Would you feel protected if there was a no contact order put into place between you and him?
I would, but I wouldn't mind if there wasn't one, due to the fact that if we have kids and I do have to be around him.
How many children do you have together?
So we have 2 biological and 1 non.
And who provides income for those children?
I do.
Okay. Does Mr. Coons share the residence with you?
Yes.
If he was released, would you be okay with him coming to the residence, or would you allow him to come pick up property with law enforcement?
Yes.
Is there any issue between him and the children?
No.
Do you have any concern for their safety if he's released?
No.
No further questions. Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
No, the state doesn't have any questions.
Either party wish to be heard? Talk to your lawyer first, sir.
Your Honor, there was one final matter I needed to ask of this witness. I apologize.
Go ahead.
Ma'am, will you be paying the bond for Mr. Coons today if one is set for him?
So I do know that he does have some sort of money on him. If he's not able to do the whole bonding for him, I will be helping out with it. Yes.
Okay. How much could you afford for bond today?
The most $100.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Your Honor, given in light of that testimony, and the fact that The victim here has indicated that she would not have a problem with him being released on bond if there was no hostile contact order in place. We would ask for him to be released ROR so that he is able to leave the jail and establish himself in a separate residence according to the court's order.
Okay, as to 2021 CF 4598, I'm going to revoke your bond. I'm going to find probable cause in the new case, 2021 CF 14932. And because I found probable cause, I'm revoking your bond in the other firearm charge you have, which is 2021 CF 4598. As to the aggravated assault with firearm charge that you picked up, I'm going to set your bond at $5,000. I'm going to order you to have no contact with the victim in this case. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any firearms. You're not to return to the scene. If you do have any belongings with the victim, you may return one time with law enforcement to pick them up. So on the case that you were down on bond on, yes.
Attorney soon, okay.
You want me to sign it? Oh, you want me to pre-sign? I didn't know you wanted me to pre-sign. We're gonna have a talk with. Good morning, sir. Can you tell us your name, please?
Good morning, Michael Charles Frills.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Frills.
Morning.
You're here on case 2021 CF 14905 on aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence, and battery, domestic violence. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. It appears we have two witnesses that would like to be heard on this case, if they could be sworn in by the clerk.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Oh.
Please state your names for the record and spell your last name.
Hi, I'm Charmaine Frills. I'm Michael's mom, Freels.
Chanel Monk.
Okay. Ms. Frills or Ms. Monk, what would you like to tell the court today?
I would like to say that this is not a bad situation, but it was just a small minor things because I had problems with her yesterday morning to attend school, and that's where it escalated. And Michael is a person that he doesn't interfere, but it just got out of hand. He was just tired of the bickering between me and her all the time, every other day of trying to get her ready and getting her to school, and that's why that happened.
Okay. Ms. Monk, do you have anything else you want to say? Does either party have any questions for these witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Briefly, Your Honor. Ma'am, if Mr. Freels was to return to the residence, would there be an issue amongst your daughter and him?
I don't have an issue, but he will be, if he does not, he will be going somewhere else.
Okay, so you're saying he will not return to the residence as far as you're concerned?
No, just to be, to keep the peace between them, that's all.
I'm sorry, do you have a fear that they're gonna continue fighting?
No, I don't. But, better safe than sorry. I don't, sir. I don't. They're my children, so I don't.
Your Honor,
Okay.
please, the state would point out, if you haven't already read the affidavit, that the victim is a minor child, and he pulled a knife on her.
Do you all live together?
Yes, and I did not see that knife, but we do live together. And this, like I said, this is the first time this whole thing have happened where he intervened with us.
Okay. Anything else from either party?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for coming in today. I'm going to find probable cause as to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and battery, domestic violence. As to the aggravated assault charge, I'm going to set your bond at $2,500. As to the battery charge, I'm going to set your bond at $500. I'm going to order you to have no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are allowed to go back to the residence one time to retrieve your belongings with the assistance of law enforcement. You are to possess no weapons and no firearms while out on bond. Do you understand?
Understand.
Any other issues from either party?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, best of luck to you. All right, good morning, sir. Can you state your name for us, please?
Al Johnson Jr.
All right, good morning, Mr. Johnson. You're here on 2021 CF 14646 for aggravated stalking with a credible threat. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I believe probable cause was already found in this case as you had an arrest warrant that was issued. Your bond on the warrant was set at none. Does either party wish to be heard?
I would ask the court to leave it at that, based on his cursory look, examination of his priors.
I can't hear you. You have to say it. I got the, sorry about that.
I'm sorry, based mostly on the cursory reading of his priors, which seem to include homicide.
What are you asking for?
To remain no bond.
Your Honor, we would object to a no bond hold here. I don't believe that the state has provided a sufficient factual basis for that to meet the proof evident presumption grade.
Is aggravated stalking with a credible threat or punishable by life felony or a
No, Your Honor, I don't believe it is.
No.
In which case, I believe that Mr. Johnson would be entitled to a monetary bond just based on the charging itself.
Okay. I'm going to find probable cause exists. I'm going to set the bond at $15,000. I'm going to order you to have no contact with the victim that's listed on the warrant, and you are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Is there anything else I can do for either party?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, sir. All right, good morning. Can you please state your name for us?
Andrew Ramdeen.
All right, Mr. Ramdeen, you're here on the charges of battery by strangulation, domestic violence, robbery, sudden snatching, tampering with a witness to hinder communication to law enforcement, and contempt of court to violating a no contact order. You are also out on bond on 2021 MM 8061 for domestic violence battery. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I have reviewed the affidavit. I'm going to find probable cause. Does either party wish to be heard on bond?
Judge, we have a witness here.
Oh, yes.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record and spell your last name.
Alyssa Ramdeen, Ramdeen.
Hi, good morning, Ms. Ramdeen.
Good morning.
What would you like to tell the court?
I want him to get help. I think he needs, I don't know how I go about getting a Baker's Act on him or a Marshall's Act for a dual diagnostic type thing, but I think he needs help and I think he needs to be diagnosed with something, and I don't want him to come back to the house when I'm there.
Okay, thank you. Does either party have any questions for her?
Ma'am, was the previous case on which he was bonded out, were you also the victim in that case?
Yes, sir.
Any questions from the office?
Thank you, Judge. Ma'am, if Mr. Ramdeen was released or able to leave the jail, but not to return to the residence that you guys share, would you feel safe in that circumstance?
Well, that was the circumstances for last time, and he returned home because my parents. So I wouldn't feel safe if he came out.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, as I previously said, I'm going to find probable cause as to the new charges. As to your other charge, 2021 MM 8061, I'm going to revoke your bond in that case for violating the court's order. You will have no bond in that case. As to your new case, I'm going to find probable cause as to all those charges. As I've said, I'm going to set the bond at battery by strangulation, domestic violence at $10,000. I'm going to stay the remaining counts at their bond currently, which is $1,000 each. If you're released out on bond on this case, you are to have no contact with the victim. No contact means no contact. You are to possess no weapons. You are to possess no firearms. Do you both live with each other?
Yeah.
You are to maintain a separate residence. If you have belongings you would like to pick up, you may return one time with law enforcement to retrieve those items. Are there any other issues from either party?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, best of luck, sir. I'm going to make a complaint box for you. All right, good morning, sir. Can you please tell us your name?
Dion Buckner.
All right, Mr. Buckner, you're here on 2021 MM 8186 for battery domestic violence. I'm going to appoint the officer of the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I reviewed the affidavit. I'm going to find probable cause. Does either party wish to be heard on as to bond?
Judge, it does appear that Mr. Buckner qualifies for PTR.
Okay, State, do you have an objection to PTR?
I'll point out to the court that it appears he has previous arrests, if not not convictions, however, for domestic violence.
I think that was taken into account by PTR, Judge.
Do you live with the victim, Mr. Buckner?
Yes,
The alleged
ma'am.
victim?
Yes, sir. I got 2 kids by her. Yes, sir.
Okay, you have anywhere else to go?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why don't you talk to your lawyer for a second? Do you want to be heard on the no contact order?
Can you say that again?
Your Honor, he does provide income for the kids and pays rent for the residents. Excuse me. He will expect that she'll be reaching out to get income from him for those purposes. So we would ask for no hostile contact order.
Okay, State, do you have an objection?
No, Your Honor.
Then we will release him on PTR. The conditions of release are that you be subject to random drug analysis and that you have no hostile contact with the victim as alleged in the police report. And that you possess no weapons or firearms. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything else I can do for either party?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good morning. Can you please tell us your name?
This is your mark.
Okay. You are here in 2021 MM8127 for battery, domestic violence, or dating violence. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you in this case.
Judge.
Does either party wish to be heard on bond or on conditions of release?
Yeah, and I would just point out that it appears that he was convicted of battery in March of this year, and asked that the court take that into consideration.
Well, probable cause was already found. There was an arrest warrant that was issued. Looks like there was a no contact order that was violated with this. So with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the bond at $5,000. I'm going to order you not to return to the scene. I'm going to order you to not have any contact with the victim. Do you live with the alleged victim in this case, Mr. Desir?
I don't stay with her. I stay with my mom right now.
Okay, so you got another place you can stay?
I'm staying with my mom, sir.
So you're going to maintain a separate residence. It sounds like you already got one, but I'm going to order that as well. I'm also going to order you to possess no weapons or firearms. Is there anything else I can do for either party?
I also need a constriction order from her so she could stay away from me. Thank you, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir. All right, good morning, ma'am. Can you tell us your name?
My name is Marlene Edmonds, sir.
Okay. Well, Ms. Edmonds, you're here for a battery domestic violence case in 2021 MM8193. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Does either party wish to be heard as to bond or conditions of release?
No, Your Honor.
All right, well, that I've reviewed the police affidavit, I'm going to find that probable cause exists. Do you live with the alleged victim?
No, it's my apartment. He's gone.
Okay, so you have a different residence?
No, it's my apartment. He's gone.
Right, you have a different residence from the alleged victim, though, right? He lives somewhere else?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then I'm going to set your bond at $200. I'm going to order you to have no contact with the victim in this case.
Yes, sir.
And you're not to possess any weapons or firearms. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything else I can do for either party?
Thank you.
Best of luck to you, ma'am.
Your Honor, I apologize for the late argument, but it appears that Ms. Edmonds would not be able to pay that bond. She is on SSI income, and she doesn't have access to that at this moment. We would ask for an ROR, given the fact that it appears she has no history of arrests at all, and there is an indication on her face sheet that she has a history of mental health issues, and it appears that that is causal in this case. We'd ask for her to be released to be able to get the treatment she needs.
State, you want to be heard?
I don't have the arrest form, and it appears that that is the case, that she has no priors, arrest or convictions of any sort. So we'll leave it to the judge's, the court's discretion to do.
Based on the state not objecting, we'll give her ROR. Okay.
You do.
The conditions of release still are intact, though, ma'am. Okay. You understand?
Okay.
Best of luck to you. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell us your name, please?
James Gonzalez.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, you're here in 2021 MM 8195 for violation of a domestic injunction. Also, you're here on a charge of contempt of court, which is civil. We're not seeing, but the contempt of court is not in front of the court today, so I take that back. I'm going to appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. Does either party wish to be heard as to bond, probable cause, or conditions of release? Okay, hearing nothing. I'm going to find probable cause exists. As of right now, I'm going to set your bond at none, and I'm going to find on the record that I don't see any conditions of release that exist that could safely protect the public. Is there anything else I can do for either party?
Here.
I'm sorry, Judge, could we get those bonds one more time?
Bond was none. I'm not giving him a bond.
Your Honor, we would object to that. I don't believe that there's grounds for a revocation of bond on the violation of domestic injunction. It's a misdemeanor offense. The contempt of court charge as well, I don't believe that this court was the one who issued that contempt.
Right, the contempt's not in front of us. I talked about that.
Understood.
I understand your objection. It's on the record.
Thank you, Judge. Yep.
All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell us your name?
Good morning, Your Honor. Alexander Lozada.
Alexander. What was you say your last name was?
Lozada.
Lozada. He had a right to be here. That's a good point. That's something to think about. Okay, I'm sorry. We're here on 2 counts of battery, dating violence in 2021 MM 8194 and 2021 MM 7917. I'm going to appoint the office of the public defender to represent you in this case or these cases. Does either party wish to be heard as to probable cause, bond, or conditions of release?
Yes, Judge, we did want to challenge probable cause here. This looks like a mutual fight based on the face of the
Which
affidavit.
case number? Because in 2021 MM 7917, probable cause was already found.
I believe this would be the new law, Judge, or rather where probable cause has not been found. The defense was not aware of the warrant case. However, for the new law, or rather for the on-view arrest, it appeared that the narrative of the officer in that police report was that the alleged victim did not remember what had happened, and there was mutual touching going on between both parties at that time. It looks like this was just a domestic disagreement. It wasn't a domestic violence issue. However, if there is PC found, we would ask for PTR to be vindicated. He was qualified for PTR. And we'd ask for that to be imposed on both cases.
Okay, thank you. State, do you want to be heard?
I think it was more than a pushing case. The arrest affidavit reads that he, quote, punched the complainant in the face. Plus, he's already out on a prior case, and it appears that he has a 2019 battery conviction.
Okay, thank you both. I'm going to find probable cause on the new case, 2021 MM 8194. Probable cause has already been found in the other cases I previously stated. I'm not going to give PTR in this case. I'm going to set the bond amounts as $500 at each count. I'm going to order you, I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going to order you not to receive charges. I'm going Mr. Lozado not to have any contact with the victim. Do you live with the victim as alleged in the report?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you got to maintain a separate residence. You understand?
Yes, sir.
You're not to possess any weapons or firearms while you're out on bond.
All right.
Is there anything else I can do for either party?
No, sir.
Also, I apologize. Also on the warrant, said not to return to the scene. That'll also be a condition on both cases. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Can you tell us your name, please?
Morning. Uri Roberts.
I'm all mixed up now. Lori Roberts. What am I? Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Roberts, you are here on 2021 MM 8183 for battery domestic violence. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Does either party wish to be heard as to bond, conditions, release?
Your Honor, we would ask for an ROR in this case, given the fact that there's no history of Florida convictions, arrests, or any out-of-state history.
Well, isn't he from Jamaica? I mean, I'm not going to assume he's done anything else. I'm just saying.
Your Honor, we would ask for a bond to be set so that he has an opportunity to leave the jail.
Does state want to be heard?
We would have no objection to that, Your Honor.
No objection to what?
To a bond.
Okay.
I'm saying it's not alleged as him having hit her, but having pulled on her collar.
Mr. Roberts, you reside with the victim currently?
No.
I'm going to order you to have no contact with the victim in this case. I'm going to find probable cause for battery domestic violence as outlined in the affidavit. I'm going to set your bond at $250. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms while you're out on bond. And no contact means no contact. That means no indirect contact, no messaging, no texting, no calling, no nothing. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, anything else I can do for either party?
Your Honor, thank you.
All right, have a great day. See if we are still through. All right, sir, can you tell me what your name is, please?
My name?
Yeah, can you state your name?
Joseph Hamilton Rua, Zero.
All right, sir, you're here on a battery domestic violence charge in 2021 MM 8129. I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You do qualify for pretrial release. Does either party want to be heard as to that?
The state has no objection.
Probable cause has already been found. The warrant case. Hold on one second. All right, sir, do you live with the alleged victim?
No. Look, this is my ex-wife. 3 months ago, she left. She just come back, and she was supposed to pick up some stuff in the apartment, and she called the police and kicked me out.
Is there any reason you need to have contact with her?
I don't have any contact. I also moved to another property where I own is investment, and that's where they sent the police yesterday to arrest me. So I don't know where I need to be now, or how can I take my stuff, or if even she is gonna stay in my apartment, and I pay for everything.
Okay. I'm gonna order you to have no contact with her. That means no contact, no
Absolutely
messaging, no
not.
calling, no anything. You understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna release you on pretrial release. One of the conditions is the no contact, that you have no drugs or alcohol in your possession, that you don't possess any weapons or firearms. All right, do you understand? Any questions or anything else from either party?
Can I look? I travel every month for business and family out the country. Can I have is any something I can have to don't get problems every time I get inside to the
You can bring up any of your
country?
if you can bring up any of your issues or requests with pretrial services, they'll give you an answer. Okay.
Cloud service.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Good luck to you. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell us your name, please?
My name is Andrei Samsonov.
Say that last name one more time.
Andrei Samsonov.
Great, thank you. You're here on case 2021 MM 563, battery, domestic violence, and battery. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I have reviewed the affidavits. I'm going to find probable cause. Does either party want to be heard as to bond?
Your Honor, it does appear that Mr. Samsonov qualifies for PTR.
Sir, I better understand. Yes, sorry. Not in, many. Speak.
Your Honor, he hasn't understood the proceeding thus far. What language? All right, he's a Russian speaker. I'd ask that we roll this tomorrow for a Russian interpreter, unless we can get one on the line for today.
Sir, can I talk with you?
Well, aren't tomorrow you just going to request for PTR anyway?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so we're just going to give him
understand.
PTR. Hold on. I'm going to order that he has no drugs or alcohol, that he's subject to random drugs and alcohol treatment, that he has no, or not treatment, testing. He has no contact with the victim in this case, and we'll release him on for PTR.
Sign. Okay.
Yeah. I'll reach out to you soon.
Somebody.
All right, good morning, sir. Can you please state your name for us?
Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams, you're here on the charge of battery. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I have reviewed the affidavit. I'm going to find probable cause. We're going to set your bond amount at $250. You're to have no contact with the victim. Do you live with the victim?
Yeah, me and her came down here from North Carolina to start fresh, get away from North Carolina. There was so much mess going on.
Hey, listen, you're not allowed to have any contact with her. You have to maintain a separate residence. You're allowed to go back one time with law enforcement to get your stuff that you need, and that's it. Okay, while this case is pending. Do not possess any weapons or firearms. And you're not to possess any drugs or alcohol. You understand? All right, sir. Best of luck to you. All right, good morning, sir. Can you please tell us your name?
Anthony Lamar, right?
All right, Mr. Wright, you're here on case 2021 MM8184 for resisting an officer without violence and battery domestic violence. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Mr. Wright, do you live with a Jennifer Torres?
No, sir.
Is there any reason you need to have any contact with her?
No, sir. Well, after the incident, she does have my phone, my things, but I had arranged for my sister to meet her and pick it up.
Okay.
So I shouldn't have no reason to contact her at all.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond as to resist. I'm going to find probable cause as to resisting an officer without violence and probable cause as to battery or domestic violence. I'm going to set your bond as to each count at $250. I'm going to order you to have no contact with the victim. That means no contact, no texting, no calling. She calls you, you ignore it. You are not allowed to have any contact with her. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any firearms. You're not to possess any drugs, and you're not to have any alcohol. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, best of luck to you, sir.
Sure. I pay 10% of all.
All right, good morning, sir. Can you please tell us your name?
Andino.
All right, Mr. Andino, you're here in case 2021 CF 12686 for attempted second-degree murder with a firearm. You're also here for 2021 CF 14940 for carjacking with a firearm. As to the attempted, I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. As to the attempted murder charge, an arrest warrant was already signed and probable cause already found, and the bond on the warrant is set at none. I'm going to find probable cause for carjacking with a firearm as to 2021 CF 14940. Both charges are at a minimum punishable by life. Would either party like to be heard as the bond on the carjacking?
Just say would request that he remain in low bond.
Okay, defense.
Judge, we would ask for a monetary bond to be set. I don't believe that proof, evident, presumption grade has been shown by the state, and a preliminary
Do
finding.
you want a proof, evident, presumption great hearing today?
Judge, I don't think that the court is prepared to have that based on an affidavit alone. That would be my objection if we have an Arthur hearing this morning. I would strongly object to that. I believe that Mr. Andino, under Florida statutory law, is entitled to a monetary bond. Even if it's a high bond, he is entitled to a bond without other extenuating circumstances shown by the state that indicate that granting a monetary bond would be detrimental to some interest of the community or to a victim in this case.
Okay, well, if we have an Arthur hearing now, which in theory could be done off the affidavit, that's kind of a one bite at the apple deal. So he wouldn't be able to have another one in front of the trial court. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stay the bonds at zero. I'm going to hold him at no bond. He, of course, can have an Arthur hearing. He's entitled to an Arthur hearing in front of the trial judge. As to both counts, he's ordered to have no contact with the victims in either charge.
And Your Honor, just respectfully for the record, we would object to the no bond hold on the new case.
I understand. Let him have weapons in the jail? All right, good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Shonda Blake.
Okay, Calvin Barrett bonded? Thank you. All right, Ms. Blake, you are here on the charge of prostitution, third subsequent offense. You are also out on ROR in case 2021 MM 001. And 401. I'm going to appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. What cases is he out on bond for? We have the, because I don't know what these cases are. Do we know what those are? All those? Okay, she's also out on bond in 2018 CF 12166, 2021 MM 5352, 2017 CF 15875, although I don't know if she's out on bond or if she's ROR'd on all those.
Your Honor, for those older cases, she is incompetent to proceed at this time, is our understanding.
Got you. Thank you for clarifying that for me. Okay. Does either party want to be heard as to bond?
Your Honor, given the her status as incompetent to proceed on the other pending cases, and without any indication that there has been a change in her competency, we would ask for an ROR on this case and for her to be given an opportunity to file the incompetence notice in this case as well.
The state objects to any kind of a ROR, Your Honor. She has a history of failing to appear.
Okay, I'm gonna set her bond at $500 as the new charge. I'm not gonna do anything with her other cases. And I'm going to order, Ms. Blake, as conditions of release, if you bond out, that you have no drugs or alcohol. And that's it. All right, good luck to you, ma'am. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell us your name, please?
Justice Fort.
Did Terrence Bozeman bond out?
You have a booking number for me?
102-7023.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Fort, you are here in 21 CW 52442 as a fugitive for justice, and in 2021 CF 14898 for fleeing and eluding. I figured, yes. So you're really just here for the 2021 CF 14898 fleeing and eluding charge. I'm going to appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. I'm going to find probable cause for fleeing and eluding. Does either party wish to be heard as to bond?
Not the state.
Your Honor, we would ask for a bond to be set in schedule here.
Yep. I will set bond at $2,500. You are not to possess any weapons, any firearms. You're not to possess any drugs or alcohol. That's it. Good luck to you, sir.
Judge, could we get that that bond amount again one more time?
$2,500.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, good morning. Can you tell us your name, please? Did Crystal Garcia bond out?
Do you have a booking number?
21027021.
They bonded.
All right, Ms. Glass, you're here in 2021 CF 14937 for the charges of possession of cocaine, possession of alprazolam, and possession of cannabis under 20 grams. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Okay, I'm going to find probable cause exists to all three charges. I'm going to set your bond at $200 for possession of cocaine, $150 for alprazolam, and $100 for cannabis.
Your Honor, Ms. Glass has indicated she can't afford those monetary bonds. We would ask for an ROR this time. It appears she doesn't have any history in Florida that would be of concern to the court. I also don't see any history of FTAs that would justify giving her a non-monetary bond.
Okay, you want to be heard?
I don't have my information sheet. Does she qualify for PTR?
No.
No.
You did not.
Well, I would have checked.
Okay, the court will keep it at the amounts previously stated. No conditions. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell us your name, please?
Jeremiah Guzman.
All right, Mr. Guzman, you're here on an out-of-county warrant. You're also here in 21 CF 14924, possession of a firearm by a convicted delinquent, possession of ammo by a convicted delinquent, and carrying a concealed firearm. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I want to find probable cause that you possessed a firearm and ammunition, and that you are a convicted delinquent, and that you are carrying a concealed firearm. It appears on your out of county warrant your bond is $3,800. So we'll stay that amount. As to your remaining charges, your bond's going to be set at $4,000 for possession of firearm by a convicted delinquent, $250 for possession of ammo by a convicted delinquent, and $250 for possession or carrying a concealed firearm. You are to possess no firearms or weapons if you bond out. You are to possess no weapons. I'm sorry, or you're not to possess any alcohol or drugs either. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, two other cases. You were also out on bond in 2020. That's CF, right? CF 237 for burglary of conveyance and petty theft. And you were also out on bond in 2019 CF 16243B for robbery with a firearm. I'm going to revoke your bond as to both of those cases. And all conditions of release that are in those cases shall remain. All right, ma'am, can you tell us your name, please?
Jenna Haney.
Ms. Haney, you are here in 21 CF 14933 for petty theft, 2 prior convictions. You are also out on bond for battery domestic violence in 2021 MM 6592. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I'm going to find probable cause for petty theft with 2 prior convictions. I'm going to stay the bond at $1,000. Order you not to return to the scene. As outlined in the police affidavit. As to the case you were out on bond in 2021 MM 6592, we will increase the bond from $500 to $1,000. All right, good luck, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Natasha Harrison bonded.
Thank you. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell us your name, please?
Natalie Hidalgo.
All right, Ms. Hidalgo, you are here in 2021 CF 14931 for battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting with violence and resisting without violence. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. And we're going to find probable cause as to all 3 charges. Does either party wish to be heard as to PTR?
Yes, Your Honor, we would ask that the court give Ms. Hidalgo PTR. It appears she qualifies, and based on the facts of the case, it doesn't appear that there's any reason not to allow her to go into that.
State, do you have any objection to PTR?
No, Your Honor. She appears to have no prior convictions or arrests.
Okay, she'll be released on pretrial release. She's not to possess any weapons or firearms. That's it. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Your Honor, Calvin Jurgen refused.
Okay, I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender. I'm going to find that his refusal to come up as a willful waiver of his appearance. As to 2021 CF 14910, a warrant was already issued in that case. Probable cause was found. The bond was set at $3,500 for count 1 and $100 for count 2. I don't see anything as to the firearm charges. Hmm? I don't have anything as to the firearm charges. Okay. I think that's the only case. So We won't do anything with the 2021 CF 12646. Okay, sir, can you tell us your name, please?
McCarris Jones.
All right, Mr. Jones, you're here in case 2021 CF 14355 for scheme to defraud, grand theft motor vehicle, burglary of a structure, violation of the Pawnbroker Act, petty theft of $100 or more, and dealing in stolen property. You are also on your own, released on your own recognizance when you are alleged to commit these crimes for driving while license suspended, 2 prior convictions. In case 2020 CT 7769. Appears an arrest warrant was already issued for your arrest. So probable cause has been previously found. If I haven't said it, I appoint the Office of the Public Defender. The bond amounts on the warrant are $15,000 as to count 1, $150 as to the remaining counts: grand theft, burglary, violation of the Pawnbroker Act, petty theft, and dealing in stolen property, for a total of $15,750. And we will stay those amounts. Also, the conditions of release on the warrant are no contact with the alleged victim, no return to the location of the alleged crimes, and no pawning activities. And we will impose those if they're not already imposed. And as to 2020 CT 7769, we'll set his bond at $500. Good luck to you, sir.
So actually, they said I was I want to find out. If he just said.
All right, good morning. Can you tell us your name, please?
How you doing this morning, sir? My name is Taquarius Javante Levy.
I'm good, thank you. You're here in 2021 CF 14923 for sale or delivery of cocaine.
Yes, sir, I am.
You're also, we're out on bond in 2021 CF 415 for battery. And then it says dash commit felony battery, so I'm not sure which one of those you're on bond for. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Okay, I'm going to find probable cause for delivery of cocaine. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000 as to that count. I'm going to order you not to possess any drugs or alcohol.
Yes, sir.
And you're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Yes, sir.
As to your other charge, felony battery, which you're out on bond, the bond was previously $7,500. We're going to increase that to $10,000. Good luck to you, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell us your name, please?
Sarah
What was your last name?
Olivier.
All right, thank you. We're here on case 2021 CF 14824, burglary of a dwelling and grand theft, 3rd degree. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. You had an arrest warrant, so probable cause was already found in this case. And the warrant set the bond amounts as to count 1, $3,500, and as to count 2, $150. For a total of $3,650. That'll be your bond. I'm also going to order you not to return to the scene, not to have any contact with the victim, and not to possess any drugs or alcohol. right, good luck to you, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Can I have your name, please? You said McClure, correct? Okay, thank you. You're here in case 2020 CF 4082. I believe for a failure to appear. Or prostitution. Yes, you're here for failure to appear in 2020 CF 4082, and you're also here for a prostitution third subsequent violation in 21 CF 14953. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I'm going to find probable cause for prostitution, third subsequent violation. As to the prostitution count, we'll stay the bond at $1,000, order you not to possess any drugs or alcohol. As to your failure to appear, there was a capias issued for your arrest and the bonds were set at none. All right, good luck to you, ma'am. Morning, ma'am. Can you tell us your name, please?
Catalina Status.
All right, you're here on 2021 CF 14941, driving while license is revoked as a habitual offender and driving under the influence. You were also in pretrial diversion in 2021 CT 2883. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. You're going to find probable cause for both driving while license suspended as habitual offender and driving under the influence. I'm going to stay your bonds at $2,500 and $100. I'm going to order you not to possess any alcohol or drugs as conditions of release in those bonds. As to that case, as to the case you're out on bond for originally, I guess that now you're in pretrial diversion, which is DUI. They're still technically out on bond on those cases, I guess, right?
What's the question?
They're still technically out on bond if they're in pretrial diversion, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Then we will increase the amount from $1,000 to $2,500 on the case that she was out on, 21 CT 2883. And it'll be up to the state attorney's office whether or not you are still in pretrial diversion, okay? All right, best of luck to you, ma'am. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell us your name, please? You said Daryl Pearson? Okay, thank you. You're here on a few different cases. 2021 CF, I think anyway. 2021 CF 14879. Hold on one second. That's the only one? Okay, thank you. You're only here on case 2021 CF 14879. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. You're here on 2 counts of sexual battery with a child under 12. A capias was already issued for your arrest, finding probable cause and setting the bond amounts at 0. Also, you are to have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim, co-defendant, or witnesses, and you are not to return to the scene of the offense. All right, good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, for the record, we would object to the $0 bond. Thank you.
All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell us your name, please?
Jermaine Rodriguez.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, you are here in 21 CF 14918 for possession of MDMA or ecstasy or methylene. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. He does qualify for trial release. Does either party want to be heard as to that? Okay,
The state has no objection.
I'm gonna release him on pretrial release with the conditions that he be tested for randomly drug tested and that he possess no drugs or alcohol and he possess no weapons or firearms. All right, best of luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, Tanisha Smith refused.
Nishana Smith. Refused. Okay, thank you. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent her. I'm going to find that her refusal to come up is a willful waiver of her appearance. The Office of the Public Defender already represents her in 2021 CF 9199 and 21 CF 1392. 21 MM 3919.
Just for the record, Your Honor, she's a well-known incompetent client.
Has she been found incompetent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Cases?
And
She has?
numerous cases of mine and numerous others at the public defender.
Okay, thank you.
Linda Smith's behavior?
Sorry, what?
Sorry. I thought you were done, Your Honor.
No, I'm not done yet. Hold on. Okay. In 2021 CF 142929, I'm going to find probable cause for battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting with violence. In 21 CF 14930, I'm going to find probable cause for possession of cocaine and possession of MDMA or ecstasy. I'm unaware of a case that says you can't send a bond if they've been found incompetent to proceed previously in other cases. So if you're here the rest of the week or something, you want to bring me something like that, I'll be happy to look at it. But until then, I'm going to set bonds as they are outlined in the affidavit. Well, I take that back. As to battery on a law enforcement officer, I will set it at $1,500. As to resisting with violence, we'll set it at $100. And as to possession of cocaine and possession of MDMA, we'll set both of those at $50 each. I'm just gonna leave them as they are right now. Thank you. Oh, that's a good question.
Your Honor, was there no action on those open cases?
Yeah, no action on the open cases. Thank you. If based on the PD's representation that she's been found incompetent to proceed in those cases. Did a Richard St. Cyr bond out?
You have a booking number for me?
2102-7013.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, good morning, ma'am. Can you step forward and please tell us your name, please?
P. Summers.
Yeah, there's one before her, Your Honor. We had Kalina Smith. She was behavior.
What did you say your name was, ma'am?
Summers.
All right, Ms. Summers, we'll handle you since you're in here, and then I'll get back to Ms. Smith, okay? All right, Ms. Smith, you're here on the charge of, no, hold on.
Summers.
You're here on the charge of prostitution. Third subsequent offense in 21 CF 14954. You are also released on your own recognizance for prostitution in 2021 CF 14691. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I'm going to find probable cause exists for prostitution. I'm going to set your bond on the new case. Oh, I'm going to stay it at $1,000. As to 2021 CF 14691, I'm going to set the bond, if it wasn't already set, it's kind of hard to tell, at $1,000 as well. All right, good luck with you, ma'am.
Your Honor, we would ask for an ROR based on her status as a sex trafficking victim,
How do I know that?
based on the charge, Your Honor.
I'm going to leave it set as previously stated.
Your Honor, did you revoke her out on bond?
I upped it to 1,000 if it wasn't there already. Okay, as to Kalina Smith, you said she was a refusal?
Yes, she was a behavior, Your Honor.
A behavior. Okay, I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent her in that case. We're going to go ahead and do the first appearance. She was here on 2021 CF 14927 for possession of cocaine and possession of cannabis. I'm going to set the bond amount as to possession of cocaine at $200, and as to possession of cannabis, she will be ROR'd. And we'll also say she's not to possess any drugs or alcohol. Sorry. Okay, sir, can you tell us your name, please?
Juan Vega.
All right, Mr. Vega, you're here in 21 CF 14925, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver, and possession of cocaine. You're also here on an out-of-county warrant. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
You know about that warrant? See, I went to jail for that warrant in Similar County.
Okay, as to your new charges in 2021 CF 14925, I'll find probable cause. I'll set the bond for count 1, possession with intent to sell, at $500. I'll set possession of cocaine at $100. You are being held at no bond on the out-of-county warrant, per the warrant. All right, good luck to you, sir.
So where? How am I supposed to live? I have no residence and I don't live in Summertown.
my turn? So I gotta sit in here. Then I go to Seminole County.
Your Honor, Ventura Noel Ventura bonded.
Okay, thank you. All right, sir, you can step up to the podium, please.
Your Honor, Victor Colon also bonded.
Great, thank you. Sir, can you tell us what your name is?
Prentice Tyrone Jackson, sir.
I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. You're here on 21 CT 7649 for driving while license suspended. You were also out on bond for, in 2021 CF 12171 for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of ammunition by a person who committed a delinquent act times, I guess, 5 of those charges, possession of cannabis with intent to sell, and possession under 20, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Your Honor, we would ask for no action to be taken on the out on bond case, given the lack of nexus between the current charge, driving while license suspended, and the out on bond counts.
I understand. Thank you. Okay, we're going to set your bond at $500 as to driving while license suspended.
Sir.
So we'll stay it. We're also going to order as a condition of release that you don't possess any weapons or firearms.
Yes, sir.
And I won't take any action as to the case he was out on bond on. All right, best of luck to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Your Honor, Richard John bonded.
Okay, thank you. All right, good morning, sir. Can you tell us your name, please?
John McDonald.
Okay, Mr. McDonald,
Yes, sir.
you are here in 2021 CT 7651 for DUI with property damage. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Yes, I've got a, I'm sorry.
Your Honor, I didn't see a will witness in this affidavit.
State, do you want to be heard as to the element of him driving?
If you give me one moment, Your Honor, please.
It said Mr. McDonald said he was operating a vehicle.
That's, if he said he was operating, that's an admission, Your Honor. That's prima facie case.
Yeah, I think that's an admission. So I'll find probable cause. We'll stay the bond at $1,000. Mr. McDonald, not to possess any drugs or alcohol, okay?
Okay.
All right, best of luck to you.
Okay.
Shelby Martin bonded.
Great, thank you. All right, good morning. Can you tell us your name, please?
Jamal Thomas.
All right, Mr. Thomas. You're here on 2 cases. 2021 MM 8181 for possession of cannabis under 20 grams, and in 2020 CT for 7143 for failing to appear. In that case, there was a capias issued for your arrest, and the bond was already set at $1,000. And that was for driving while license suspended. Second habitual. So we'll stay that. obviously. If I didn't already say so, I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender. As to the possession of cannabis charge,
Judge, it didn't appear there was a field test in the affidavit mentioned.
I don't
for
think
that.
there has to be one for cannabis.
Judge, we would challenge it under the, I'm sorry, I revoked that. Retract that, rather.
Okay.
Your Honor, actually, we would argue PC under the hemp law that went into effect in 2019. There's been no differentiation on the face of the affidavit in this case of whether the plant material is CBD, which would be legal, or marijuana, illicit marijuana.
I understand. I'll find probable cause as to cannabis. I'm inclined just to release him as to pretrial release unless the state has an objection.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll just release him to pretrial release. Mr. Thomas, you're not to possess any drugs or alcohol, you understand? And you're subject while on pretrial release to random drug tests.
Yes, sir.
And this is only for the possession? He can't,
Yes.
okay.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Another Anthony Asania, mental health.
Okay, I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender. He's here on 2021 MM 8164 for trespass. He is also out on bond for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on a person 65 years or older, which is a second-degree felony, I believe, in 2021 CF 8780. One moment.
Your Honor, we would ask for an ROR on the trespass and no action on the ag assault with a deadly weapon that he was out on bond on given the lack of nexus.
As to the trespass, I'm going to set the bond at $250 and as a condition of release, not to return to the scene. As to the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, his bond will be increased to $5,000. And any conditions of release in that case shall remain intact. All right.
Delquan Charles refused.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Charles is here on a trespass in 2021 MM 8190. He is also incompetent to proceed on several cases.
Your Honor, I did
Several
have
misdemeanor cases, sorry. Go ahead, sorry.
I apologize, Judge. I did have a probable cause challenge to the trespass in this case.
Okay, go ahead.
Your Honor, it doesn't appear that he was ever given an opportunity to leave after a warning from law enforcement. I think if there had been a prior authorized trespass issued from the business or structure, wherever it is that was at issue here, I think it would be proper for him not to be given an opportunity to leave from law enforcement. Because this was a first-time trespass, it appears at that location. Any prior warnings from the employee at that place of business would not be sufficient to hit him with the trespass after warning. I believe probable cause requires him
You're
to.
saying that a law enforcement officer is required to do the warning?
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't know if that's true or not. State, do you want to be heard?
I don't have the statute in front of me, but that doesn't make sense. I think a property owner has a right, or somebody who's in control of the property has the right as well to instruct somebody to leave.
That's correct, but it's not legally binding until a law enforcement officer instructs that person to leave, and then they do not leave, or they leave and then return. The issue is notice.
Give me 1 second. the owner defies an order to leave, personally communicated to the offender by the owner of the premises or by an authorized person, or if the offender willfully opens any door, fence, gate, or does not expose animals, crops, or other property to waste, or trespasses on property other than a structure conveyance, the offender commits a misdemeanor. I think she's probably authorized as a representative of the property. I'm going to find probable cause as to trespass on property after a warning, but the defense's objection is noted. I'm not going to take any action as to all the cases she has been found incompetent to proceed on. Which is 5 cases, 5 misdemeanor cases. But there are also cases she hasn't, I guess, been found incompetent to proceed on yet. 2021 MM 8190 for trespasses and petty theft. Oh. Where's the petty theft charges then? No. I'm reading up there. Okay. Sorry, let me say that again. There's trespass in MM 2879 and MM 6165 283. Seeing she's been found incompetent to proceed on all the previous cases, I'm not going to take any action on that. I will set her bond at $250 on this case. Or hits. Okay, thank you. All right, can you tell us her name, please?
Kelly Portier.
Ms. Fortier, you're here on the charge of prostitution. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I'm going to find probable cause exists for prostitution. I'm going to stay your bond. Well, I'm going to lower your bond to $250. You're not to possess any drugs or alcohol while out on release. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
All right. Best of luck to you.
Your Honor, she can't afford the $250. We asked for an RR.
He'll stay at $250. If you can't afford it, ask your lawyer and they'll set a motion in front of the trial judge. Okay?
Yeah.
Are you Miss Garcia? No? Garcia bonded. What's your name, ma'am?
Amber Hagee.
All right, Miss Hagee. Good morning to you.
Morning or afternoon.
Or afternoon.
Sorry.
You're here for a prostitution charge.
First time.
I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I'm going to find probable cause for prostitution.
Okay.
I'm going to set your bond at $250, and your condition of release is not to possess any drugs or alcohol. You understand? All right, best of luck to you.
Your Honor, Ms. Haig can't afford the bond. We'd ask for an RR.
I understand. You can file a bond motion in front of the trial judge. Okay, thank you. Good morning, ma'am. What's your name? Can you tell us your last name?
Illich, M-I-L-L-E-D-G-E.
Okay, thank you. You're here in 2021 MM 8196 on the charge of battery. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I'm going to find probable cause exists for the charge of battery.
Yeah, we'd ask for PTR in this case. Miss Kashner is, or I'm sorry, Miss Millage is pregnant.
How pregnant? How many months pregnant are you, Miss Millage?
3 months.
3 or 4 months?
Yes, sir.
Well, she doesn't qualify for PTR. At least that's what it says in front of me. What I'll do is I'll set your bond at $250. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms while you're out on bond. Do you understand? All right, Miss Millage, best of luck to you.
Navarro, with Fonda, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, sir. Can you tell us your name, please?
Travis Warner.
All right, Mr. Warner, you're here in 2021 MM 8180 for trespass after a warning that's been alleged and maybe a municipal ordinance, although I'm not 100% sure of that yet. And you are also out on bond for petty theft, 2 prior convictions in 2021 CF 1370. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Give me one moment. A fine probable cause exists for trespass. I'll stay your bond at $500. As to that count, order you not to return to the scene, not to possess any drugs or alcohol. As to alcoholic beverages in open containers, I'll find probable cause for that. Set your bond at $50. As to 21 CF 13701, your bond was $1,500. We will double it to $3,000 for being arrested while out on bond. And we will keep intact any conditions of release that were in that case. So if you were told and ordered not to return to the scene in that case, that's still good. Do you understand, Mr. Warner?
Yes, sir.
All right, best of luck to you.
Is it?
All right, good morning, sir. Can I have your name, please?
Yes, Your Honor, Mark Joel Anton.
Said Mark Anton, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're here on an out-of-county warrant. The warrant states that your bond is none. So you're going to be held and hopefully transported soon on the warrant. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender, obviously, to represent you. But that's all I got for you today, okay?
Do you know how much time I have been on this charge, Your Honor?
Do I know how much time you have? What?
Do you know how many days I have in Tavares? Because I think I was booked in on May 20th.
Like what your credit is, you mean?
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't.
I don't have that information from me.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you. All right, sir, what's your name?
Ernest Brown.
All right, good morning, Mr. Brown. You are here on out-of-county warrants. Give me one moment. Looks like one of the warrants is a failure to appear, possession of cocaine. So you're going to be held on no bond for those out-of-county warrants until you get in front of the judge over there in Volusia County. You are also, I believe, out on bond for fleeing and attempting an elude and resisting without violence in 2021 CF 9720 here in Orange County. But I don't know what you did in the other warrants or when it happened, so I don't know if you were out on bond. So I'm not going to take any action at this time as to those cases. Okay, best of luck to you, sir. Yes. Always, sorry. All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your name, please?
How you doing, sir?
What's your name, sir?
Gene Baru.
All right, Mr. Baru, you're here on 2021 MM 8185 for resisting officer without violence. You're also here for a violation of probation.
Yeah, it is. Your Honor.
I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. You are welcome to say whatever you want to say, but I would recommend talking to your attorney first.
Yes, I just want to ask a question. I just.
I will find probable cause for resisting without violence.
Your Honor, can I say something, sir?
You can say whatever you want. Just know that the proceedings are being recorded and anything you say could be used against you later. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
I haven't been in trouble in 8 years. That's why all this is like, also just asking to him. And my new charge, I was driving. I'm a family man. I've been out of the streets for years. I used to get in trouble when I was younger. I haven't been in trouble in 8 years. Yesterday, they pulled me over. I drive trucks, and I never had a problem with my license. I don't know what's going on. I'm the only person in the household that's making money. The Thanksgiving, Christmas, all depends on me. I never violated probation ever a day in my life. I've been on probation for years clean. I'm asking for mercy to be able to go to court and handle this in front of the judge and be able to go home today so I can be able to take care of the family. Your Honor, if you look at my rap sheet, the prosecutor look at my rap sheet, I haven't been in trouble in years. I never violated probation. I never did nothing wrong. I've been going to church. I've been a family man. The only reason why I pulled over is because I had my daughter. I didn't want nothing to happen. I don't know. I haven't been in trouble in years. Never violated.
Hold on one second.
It's a juvenile case, sir. And I'm 31 years old.
Well, then I know it's not a juvenile case.
Yes.
You might have been a juvenile when it happened.
Oh yeah. Well, yes, sir. I understand what you're saying. I've been clean for 8 years, and I'm the only one in the household. Like, nobody can provide the Thanksgiving meal, the food. I'm just the income for the household.
Sir, here's what we're doing today. All that is relevant. I'm not saying that what you said doesn't matter. All I'm saying is today I'm just setting bonds. So you'll have and you know this, you'll have an opportunity to plead your case as to the rest of these in a second. Hold on. Listen to me first. So as to the resisting without violence, I'm going to find probable cause. I'm going to stay your bond on that as $500. As to the driving while license suspended, I'm going to find probable cause. I'm going to stay your bond at that $500. As to both those cases, I'm going to order you not to possess any firearms, any weapons, to possess any alcohol or drugs. As to your VOP, which apparently you violated your probation for robbery with a firearm, I'm going to set your bond at, hold on. Let me look at one thing. How did you get sentenced to 20 years, but you're in 2014?
Your Honor, can I tell you the truth? That's why I allow myself to talk, because I don't do nothing.
Well, you may want to talk to your attorney first. Just know that first.
I don't do nothing wrong. I got pulled over for a license.
What I'm asking is, how do you get sentenced to 20 years in 2015?
Your Honor, I'm not.
But it's 2020 and you're out.
Your Honor, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't understand how that makes sense.
In 2014, I had two twins, Kayla and Janaya, and at that time, to be able to go home to my family, it sounded like the best deal. I've been clean since then. I would never have pulled over if I knew I had a license suspended. 2014, I brought in two beautiful girls. I haven't been in trouble since then. I just couldn't put them in harm's way and run from the law. I never knew my license was suspended. That's why I took the 20 years probation, because I knew I was done with this lifestyle. 20 years probation.
There's my answer. Okay. All right. Then what we're going to do is I'll set your bond on the robbery with firearm at $10,000. The same conditions as release as I already announced on the other case. No possession of firearms, no possession of weapons. And Mr. Barrow, if you can post bond, you can get out for Thanksgiving, okay? Best of luck to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sure, no problem. All right, good morning, sir. Can I have your name, please?
Morning, Alan Lee Davis.
Davis, you're here in 2009 CF 16291 for a violation of probation. There has already been a warrant. Wait, take that back. Yes, there's already been a warrant issued for your arrest. A probable cause has been found. Think anything. I'm going to appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. The warrant states that you're to be held at no bond. So good luck to you, sir.
Judge, he has reporting requirements.
Hold on one second.
He has
release?
He has reporting requirements.
He has what?
Reporting requirements. Sex offender. He has to let them know that he came here to the Orange County Jail.
Sorry.
No. He has reporting requirements. You just need to notify him that he has to report this address to the sheriff's department.
Because of the charges that you had, you got to report your address to the sheriff's office. You understand? And yes, what did you want to say?
I was trying to figure out why I have no bond at all.
The warrant that the judge.
I've been out on bond since the last time I was here.
Yeah.
And I've done nothing wrong. I've been working every day. I've been trying to pay my payments, but there's a lot of things that have been happening.
Well, there was a warrant. The judge reviewed a warrant for probable cause for whatever your violations were, and he signed the warrant, and he indicated on the warrant that you were to be held at no bond. You can always set it in front of the trial judge and try to get a bond in your case. It's just right now at this time, you need to register your address with the sheriff's office and you need to, and you're gonna be held at no bond. Okay, that's the best I got for
Held
you
in jail for no bond, with no bond?
for violating your probation.
Who do I talk to about that? This is my attorney?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm trying to figure that out.
That's not specifically your attorney, but the Office of Public Defender has been appointed to represent you.
So, in the meantime, I lose my job, I lose my house, I lose everything in regards to being picked up at work for failure to pay a payment that I've been trying to pay.
Morning, sir. Can I get your name, please?
Raymond Calderon.
All right, Mr. Calderon. You are here for state misdemeanors. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I don't have anything for him. I have this. Hold on one second. Sorry, everybody. Yep. Okay, sorry about that. All right, as I said, I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. And and I know you guys may not have done this, but if either of you have presented plea offers to each other that you would like to happen, let me know. But this is for state misdemeanors. I'm going to find probable cause exists. Does he want to enter a plea today?
Sir. Sure does, Judge.
For adjudication, credit time served?
Yes, sir.
It has no objection.
Okay, can we have him sworn in,
Raise your
please?
right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to give you with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Calderon, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
No, sir.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, you could be deported?
Yes, sir.
Or you will be deported, I should say. Has anyone threatened you to make this plea?
No, sir.
Are you making this plea voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
All right. I will find that your plea has been voluntarily and freely made. I'll accept your plea. I will adjudicate you guilty of the state misdemeanors you've been charged with and sentence you to credit time served.
Your Honor, could you confirm the plea from the defendant on the record is a no contest plea?
Yes. Are you pleading no contest today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
It'll be a no contest plea. Yeah, we'll give him a year. You have a year to pay court costs. Understand?
Yes, sir.
What are our court costs? Court costs are $273.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Best luck to you. All right, good morning, sir. Can I have your name, please?
Joseph Jackson.
All right, Mr. Jackson, you're here for possession and consumption of alcohol in public. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. I'm going to find probable cause. Mr. Jackson, do you wish to enter a plea today if the court offers to sentence you to an adjudication and credit time served?
Yes.
Okay, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to give you with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, hold on one second. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, you will be deported if you enter this plea.
Yes.
Has anyone coerced you or forced you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And how do you plead to the charge of possession and consumption of alcohol in public?
No content.
Okay, I'll find that you entered your plea freely and voluntarily, that you're not being coerced, and that you're not under the influence of drugs or alcohol. I will sentence you to an adjudication and credit time served. I'll give you a year to pay court costs, which are the amount of $273. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I have your name, please?
John, Kalen,
All right, Mr. Kalen, I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. You're here on a violation of a city ordinance for disorderly conduct. I'm not even sure I'm going to find probable cause for this, but I'll be happy to take a plea if he wants one too. Otherwise, I'm just tempted to release him on his own recognizance.
Your Honor, we did have an issue with probable cause here as well. If I could inquire with him, what he would.
okay.
Your Honor, he'd like to resolve with a plea.
You raise your right hand so you can be sworn in, sir?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
All right, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
no,
Are you a U.S. citizen?
yes,
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, you will be deported
yes,
if you enter this plea. Are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
yes,
Has anyone coerced you or tried to force you into entering this plea?
no,
Have you had the chance to consult with your lawyer about whether or not you should enter this plea? What do you plea as to disorderly conduct?
no contest,
I'll find that your plea is entered freely and voluntarily, that no one has forced or coerced you to enter this plea, that you know the consequences of entering your plea, and I'll sentence you to adjudication and credit time served. Good luck, sir. Oh, also court costs him $273, and you'll have a year to pay. All right?
thank you.
All right, everybody.
Thank you.
Did it. Congratulations.
Happy Saturday.
I gotta sign stuff.
Yes.